Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're rounding off this year, this 2020 year. It's come to a close, and I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up Mandalorian, wrap up the year. Two of my favourite guests. One who's it was on like 3 weeks ago. We got him back already. The people demanded it. In fact, the other guest demanded it. And one of our most popular, if not our most popular guests, Charlie and Saf. How you going, guys? Great to see you.
Woo!
Hey.
Two islands so intrinsically linked to Australia, both having completely different experiences at the moment, with New Zealand in one half and England in the other. No, we're not just talking time zones, but you both got a smile on your face still, which is good.
I mean, there's always Star Wars.
Exactly. You got Tamora Morrison headlining his own
Oh
show.
yeah, I got my boy.
Truly be angry.
Yeah, there's nothing in the world right now that could make me like truly sad, unless they cancelled that. That would make me very sad.
Oh, don't even.
Wow, that's the big rug pull from at the end. Is to have it and then just to take it away at the absolute last second.
Oh man, I would suddenly understand what all those fanboys who were so excited about Trank's Boba Fett movie. I would understand that pain, except not quite the same, because they were excited about Fett back then, and also it was Trank. So why would you get excited about that?
Could you imagine what that would have been like?
It would have been so bad. It would have been so
That
bad.
Fantastic Four movie. Have you seen that Fantastic Four movie?
Oh, yeah, I did
my
see it. I wanted to
God.
give it the benefit of the doubt, but like the worst thing a movie can be is boring, and that movie was so boring that I almost walked out.
I fell asleep. Oh, you went to the cinema. I saw it. I watched it at home. I fell asleep twice twice at home trying to watch it. I fell asleep 2
I don't know
times.
why.
John Hamm is Boba Fett.
John Hamm is Boba Fett. John Hamm should be a Mandalorian though.
He should.
Yeah, but he could just
But
be
as
one
a-
of those.
as
Yeah,
a
like
pre-
the third guy. You know, like that kind of stiff dude who was in the series this year. The other, like Bo-Katan, the
Fizzler.
wrestler, and
No.
the other guy.
His name is Axe Woves.
Axe Woves.
Axe Woves.
Axe Rose, yeah, from them. He's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Did he get an axe woves to the head, and that's why he wasn't in the last episode? He got
My
axe
favourite thing
woves.
about that character is that he, as soon as I heard his name, I was like, George came up with that. And without a doubt, I found out that's true. He actually came
It was
up with
George. That makes so much
Yeah.
sense. Because I was like, as soon as I found out his name, I was like, I love this name. This name is so stupidly Star Wars. This is so good. So finding out that it's actually George just fills me with joy.
He was
that. I like the
very
idea that
mysteriously
they invite
missing.
George to the set.
Where was he in the last episode? He just went walkies.
I think, like, my assumption is that, like, because they also have the Gazanki cruiser that they got in a previous episode. So, like, somebody's got to take care of that thing. But my assumption is that it's not just those three, that there are a few more Mandalorians with them. They're just the ones we see. Because, like, I have a feeling she's not going to be, like, having this whole plan to take back Mandalore if there's only, like,
Three of them.
Yeah.
Worst idea
We
ever.
lost one.
With
I mean,
one
if she has lost everyone else, I feel like that's kind of an indictment on her.
Like, do we really want her running things? Like, there was 100 of us, and now there's 3 of us.
That is a very good question. Do they want her running things?
What did she do?
Fight with people?
Yeah. Has she got any education? Does she know anything about diplomacy? Does she just
Oh,
really know how to...
she's a princess. She's a white
like-
princess.
She's like
She's a duchess, okay?
she's the Eric Trump of Mandalore.
I'm
Oh
doing my
god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Just going in
Does that-
on her right now.
Does that mean that Lady Satine is what's her name? What's the other one? What's the other sister?
Donald Jr.
Ivanka?
Ivanka.
Oh god, is she Ivanka? Oh.
No,
I've
Satine's
forgotten them
too good for
already.
that. Don't put Satine there, Bo.
We can dump on
Like,
Bo-Katan, but not Satine.
It's fine with Bo-Katan. She's in my bad books now after being really mean to Boba.
That was
Yeah,
kind of
she's-
shit.
She's kind of a racist.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so... I mean, you can't really be a racist if you're just talking about a bunch of clones. It's not really the same.
Yeah, well, you know, it implied,
Yeah.
you know, she's still looking down on him.
Yeah, of course. Like, for one thing, her calling Django his donor offended me deep to my heart. I was so upset. I was just like,
It's really
how,
mean.
how dare you? That is his father. He raised him as his son. And then when she's like real mean about him being a clone, I was just like, shut up. Like, I know the clones are working for the Jedi, and the clones probably directly after they retook Mandalore turned on Order 66 and then retook Mandalore for themselves. So like, I can't hate her for that much. But be nice to Boba. Come on.
All right.
Stop saying he's not a Mandalorian.
All right, let's address the elephant in the room here, Saf. You've gone full Boba Fett. Like you're in. You're like a 45-year-old dude with his statues. Like you've just turned that. Yeah, oh, we go. He's got there we go. Charlie's flashing the figure right here as well on the camera. I've got a couple up on the wall who are still in their packets as well. But you've just absolutely turned. Now it's obviously Tamara Morrison is the driving force between this, isn't it?
Yeah.
We just said, if it had been John Hamm under the helmet, we probably wouldn't have the same level of enthusiasm. Is this a bit of national pride? Is it here? Is this coming through?
Not necessarily. I mean, it does feel really good to hear a New Zealand accent in Star Wars. Like his accent does feel like usually like I find American accents really like not American accents. Sorry, New Zealand accents like when put amongst a bunch of other accents, I'm like. This sucks.
It's like
being on the
tube in London and hearing someone from Queensland. Like that was always my experience of hearing an Australian accent. It was like, accent change.
At celebration at some point, like I ran to some New Zealanders and I was listening to them talk. Because it'd been a while since I've heard another New Zealander at that point. And I was like, why is so many Australians here? And then eventually I was like, oh no, we just sound like that. But like Tim has a very beautiful voice. And like hearing his voice and his accent was like really nice in Star Wars because like for me in Star Wars it has the association already with Jango and the clones, which is good. Like part of it was that like Tim is a really good actor and I'm really excited for him to like have his time to shine in like the international sphere. And the third thing is that they did make Boba tragic, and that is like the essential ingredient for Saf to like a character. Like when he said like like, I'm a simple man making my way through the galaxy or whatever. And I was like, oh no, he referenced Jango. And then he mentions his father, and I was like, oh man, they got me. Now I love this guy.
And when he says,
also, his fighting is amazing too.
That bit when he says, sometimes life comes in to save the wretched. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, like unexpectedly poetic.
But it elevated it, didn't it? Like, I grew up on the VHSs, like taped off the telly. I always heard the original, he's no good to me, dead. I'm only doing his voice. I'm not even doing the original voice I'm supposed to be doing. Anyway, the original like dubbing. But then when they dubbed it for the Blu-rays, I was kind of like, well, that's really not off-putting, but like I really stuck out like a sore thumb. Jarring, that's the word I'm looking for. But then like his accent in this just absolutely elevated the character. You know, his pronunciation, the way he said like Tatooine, the way he said Boba Fett, like it was kind of like he brought like himself to it in a way that the character never really had before.
The character really feels like a fully fledged person with like complexity and everything. Like, and like the fact he was like, our deal is like, I will get the armor and then I will protect your child until he's safe. Like
then I've got my own agenda.
Dude.
Now I've clearly got.
He's got his own agenda, but like he'll put this child and Din above it all else for like his armor, which like, as far as trades go, it ends up with him having to, storm an Imperial cruiser.
Well, Boba Fett still was like, I'll do anything to protect you, but I ain't getting out of my ship. I'll do some flying and some dropping off, and I'll send my lackey in
to get more
shoot
pain.
Some heads. Yeah.
Like it's good. His character is good now, and I'm very excited about it.
And he's got his own show. They finally did it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I lost my shit when I saw that. I was so excited.
So did you stick around? Did you stick around for the credits? Like, were you?
Yeah.
Do you normally stick around for the credits? Or just like, they haven't gone to.
I usually stick around for the credits.
Yeah, right. They did. It was like, they hadn't gone to the next thing.
Yeah, I'd seen a couple people on Twitter tweeting about it, but even if they hadn't, like, because I watch it with one of my good friends, and we watch like, because she's in LA, so we watch like together through like Skype or whatever. And so usually after the episode ends, we're just talking a whole bunch through the credits until it doesn't think of like it cancels you out because you watch all the credits kind of thing. So even if we hadn't known, we would have ended up watching it anyways. But as it was, we were talking so much that I didn't notice any of the credits, so I didn't get spoiled for what it was going to be by the credits.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know. What about you, Charlie? Did you stick around just for the credits, or did someone have to like, hey, but I was stuck around for the credits?
I did turn it off because I go through the credits and I watch the credits all the time, but for this time I was like, just had to talk about the whole big thing that happened.
Oh man,
Yeah.
And then, because I did see something in the credits which really confused me, and I turned it off and I spoke to people and they're like, "Oh, post credits." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go back." The thing that confused me was because it said Matt Wood as Bib Fortuna. And I was like,
So we was
Did I
he.
imagine something?
like,
Is it
yeah,
a
he was
voiceover?
great in The Phantom Menace. What's this got to do with The Mandalorian season
So
2?
it
episode
was
8?
Matt Wood in there. Yeah. Okay.
It
Yeah, it
was,
was.
yes. And I actually messaged him.
Is the original guy who played Bib Fortuna like long gone? Like, who was the original Bib Fortuna?
I don't know.
Is he just at home like going, I got stiffed out of a job 20 years ago and I got stiffed out of a job again?
I would imagine like it's Matt Wood doing the voice. I don't know if maybe it was him on set, but I know he did the costume in The Phantom Menace, but I don't know if it was him in this time. Anyway, I saw his name, saw the scene, I was like, okay, well that blew me away. Because anytime I see Jabba's palace, I'm a big Return of the Jedi fan, so that gave me chills. They even had the sound effect for the wind chimes.
Oh, yeah,
In the
those
stairway.
annoying wind chimes.
Yeah, like the really terrible placement of wind chimes.
Yeah,
when, like,
the
Leia's gonna
interior
sneak
wind
around.
chimes.
Which you think is really
And
like, don't
I
wake
was
them
like,
up. It's like, oh, they're already all awake. don't worry. It wasn't the wind chimes that got you in the end. Don't worry.
Although, maybe, yeah, the big slamming didn't help, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, that really blew me away.
I watched it like because it drops. Saf, similar situation being in New Zealand. Like it drops at like this reasonable hour here, so it sort of comes out at 7 o'clock.
It does.
7 o'clock in the evening here in Australia, and then last Friday was like the first time in ages. I was out to dinner with some friends because we got like the kids looked after, and it was like last chance to do something before Christmas. So we were out till dinner, and then we went to the pub and had some drinks and stuff. So I didn't start watching it. And a mate of mine,
Humble brag.
Yeah, humble brag. I got to leave the house. A mate of mine stayed over the night. So we started watching it about 11:30 after like dinner and many drinks and stuff. And then my partner Kat, she fell asleep halfway through it. So she didn't even see like Luke Skywalker or anything. Like she kind of woke up at the very end and was going like, "Oh, what happened?" We're like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to tell you. We'll watch it again tomorrow." But all the time, because I was watching it a few drinks, and I was kind of watching, but that weird thing where I'm going, is this really happening? Like, how much have I had to drink? Like, this is really weird. This is really weird. And then all of a sudden I was back at Jabba's palace, and is that like Mark Hamill's dead eyes looking at me like through the television? I can't. Oh well, they really went there. They really went there.
They really went there.
Now I have to preface this. We'll talk Hamill. Let's talk about the big reveal. Don't take this the wrong way, and don't take this the wrong way if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not. But Sebastian Stan can get fucked. Like, fuck Sebastian Stan
Yes,
a million
thank
times
you.
over.
Yes, thank you.
Like, there is no way that if that hood had come up and Sebastian's face had been there, that would have been satisfying in the slightest. It would have been hilarious.
Lost my mind laughing.
He's not Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Like, they did a pretty good job. It's not perfect. It's not quite there yet. But I would have taken a half as good job. I would have taken like
sure.
a paste, a Photoshop.
Have you watched
paste.
it since?
I have, yes.
Have they touched it up?
I'm pretty sure they've changed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Have they?
I'm pretty sure they've like. I'm certain they must have touched up a little bit because it
It
seems
was
much
already
more.
pretty good when I watched it.
Well,
Yeah, it feels much more flowing now.
yeah. Like, I've
I
seen
don't know.
the,
It looked really good. Like, honestly, I was like, damn, I'm really impressed by this. This looks really good. And then I go on Twitter and everyone's like, this looks like shit. And I was like, what? Am I just really bad at watching things? Because usually I'm not, because I play a lot of video games. So usually I'm very quick at picking those things out. But I was like, it obviously wasn't perfect, but like, it didn't have that uncanny valley feeling that like Tarkin had.
And he was 6 years older. Like, they did slightly age him a little bit. Because I've seen a couple of deep fakes where they've just taken Return to Jedi footage. And I've gone, well, it doesn't work because he's like he's got more sort of bags under the eyes. He's a little bit older.
Yeah.
And also, he's got a full black cloak this time. He hasn't got that kind of weird brown one that you get with the figures every time. That looks slightly out of place when you have it on your desk. But
The two things that annoyed me the most were, one, obviously, deep fakes are technology that we should be scared of, and we shouldn't be using it to make a Star Wars TV show to like chill out. Two, you're right about Sebastian Stan. Can we please, for the love of God, stop showing that stupid morph image? That blends two faces together. Sebastian Stan doesn't look uncannily like Mark Hamill. He
It's
resembles him
blended.
a little bit. It's
Yeah.
blended.
Oh,
It's not him.
That fake poster that went around was the stupidest thing. Like, people were like, oh my god, won't this be amazing? I'm like, it'll be amazing if Luke Skywalker's in there, because from like the neck down, it's Luke Skywalker. That looks great. But you've got some like dude with a weird blonde wig on. It just looked like he was in his Halloween costume or something.
The haircut is a dodgy 70s like bob. Like, it looks like Captain and Tennille, the band.
Captain
then
and or Tennille.
the thing I hate about the Luke Skywalker photoshops, whenever anyone does any Luke Skywalker photoshops, they just use the Battlefront. I think it's the first Battlefront game from 2015, like the computer graphic Luke body.
Mm.
So it always looks weird. It's like,
Yeah.
well, half of that is a computer body, and the top bit is Sebastian Stan, who doesn't have blonde hair. Just to clarify.
Yeah, nah, it's like I like, at least that puts that to bed now. You know what I mean? Like, at least it's kind of like, well, it's done. And it seems like Hamill was on the set and they've de-aged him. I'm pretty sure it probably wasn't him doing all the jumping and twirling and hacking and slashing and stuff like that. But you know,
There was I think like a stunt actor or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, surely.
yeah, for sure.
One thing I did like about it actually is it like confirmed. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, thank God they didn't recast Luke. We're not going to get a young Luke TV show. Like, that was my main thought as well. Because, like, Luke, I want Luke to stay mythic. And making a whole TV show about him would stop that from happening. Like, let Luke live his life. But yeah, seeing that, I was like, oh, thank God. This isn't another backdoor pilot.
Not
That being
yet.
said, they did do an animated show with that technology they used for Mark's voice. I'd be down with that. Cause
Yeah, I would be super down for that.
Yeah, I'd be happy with. Well, the voice was perfect. Like,
Yeah, the voice was so good.
like, I know he's a voice actor and it's his voice, but it was,
Yeah.
you know, like, you'd think that, all right, well, you know, if one of the best voice actors going around can't do a younger version of his own voice, but like, I've heard him do whatever, Robot Chicken and other stuff, or even, you know, Simpsons when he's come on. It's like, well, he's not. It doesn't sound like 20. How old is Luke in? Well, how old would Luke be in Mandalorian? 27, 28?
It truly depends because we don't know when it's set anymore.
Right.
We thought we did, and then
I mean, I think we still do though.
It's
I don't
roughly
know, who
5 or
knows?
6. It's roughly 5 or 6 years, isn't it? So Luke's what, 23
Yeah,
in
I think
Jedi?
It's 5 years.
So he's
I
28,
thought it was like
29.
7, so who knows?
I think it's 5 years. So I'm gonna say he's about 28.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know.
Oh, he's
Yes.
older than me. Damn.
Because he's 19 in The New Hope,
Yeah.
and then Empire is 3 years later. So that makes him 20.
I thought Empire was a year
right?
after New Hope.
There's also vagueness of when they are. Like, Star Wars kind of has a mushy timeline.
However many comics we can cram in
stretches and
between is how
squishes.
long it is. It's as long as we
I think
need
it's.
to keep...
I think Empire and The New Hope, the gap is 3 years, and then Empire and Return of the Jedi is 1 year.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Empire just sits in a weird, vague area. Like, nobody's been able to, like, actually lock it down properly, I don't think.
Okay.
Oh, well.
I might be thinking of, like, back in Legends or something, but I'm pretty sure there's some weird time stuff with that. Oh, no, I think the time stuff is how long Empire takes.
Oh, it's like,
Yeah.
how long is he
Because
training
they're
for?
traveling
How
in,
long
like,
are they...
a Light.
Dagobah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most boring trip ever. Like, it'd just be like, it's bad enough if anyone's been on a long bus ride, it'd just be like 50 times
Except
worse.
it's like a long bus ride and you're stuck with Han and Chewie.
Yeah. You're stuck with some guy who's obviously creeping on you. Nothing works.
And then
And C-3PO as
Big
well.
friend. And 3PO. Oh, God. Imagine being stuck with 3PO on like an 8-hour bus ride.
I am the 3PO on the bus.
Yeah, but look, I'll
Which is-
accept that when it's you.
There's one seat
Oh,
left and
thank
it's just 3PO. And you're like, oh, maybe I could just sit next to the toilet at the back. You're like, no, all right, I'll just...
Oh, I don't want that.
But this episode had everything I ever loved about Star
It was
Wars.
very much like targeted at you, Charlie.
Wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
so the first shot, I was like, look, they've clearly written this for me, because if you know me, like, my top 3 favorite ships are Lambda Shoals.
That's right. I
That's
thought for a
wrong.
second you were going to say romantic ships. All good, all good, all good.
Romantic ships. This is just like Ray and
I was
Kylo.
So,
Finn,
Raylo?
What? You like Dr. Pershing in one of the pilots?
So what happened to the
Remember
doctor?
that
He did they check him out the airlock or something? Like,
I think, well, because I think he's probably just still in the shuttle or something like
He's
that.
just
Or he's
sitting-
in like Boba Fett's ship.
it'd be great if they all that
just
fight,
stuck with Boba
all that
Fett.
fighting was going on. They just cut to him, just sort of like in the ship, just sort of going. Oh well, I guess they'll come back later
Yep.
on.
Boba's like, can you make me some more kids?
That's interesting, actually. Maybe he'll take him with him. He's just like, all right, time to start my legacy again. Trying to amp these clones back
What if
up.
he calls his kid Django?
Rango, like that little lizard.
Oh my god, I would die if he like got a clone child. Oh my god. There were those two. Love to bring it back to the Lando comic, but it's very good. The Lando miniseries from ages ago, where there's the two like gay alien cat dudes,
Yes.
who just want to clone a son, and I hope they achieve that. Maybe Dr. Pershing can help with that.
It'd be good if he used his skills for good. You know, maybe he's realised the folly of his ways. But could Bobo, like, can he make a baby like normal traditional style, or?
I mean, yeah. Nothing was altered about him. As far as I know, I had the whole theory in my I had the whole idea in my brain that the clones were sterile. That wasn't true. I think I was thinking of like Spartans from Halo or some shit. Because I see it on Twitter the other day, and everyone was like, "That's not in canon," and I was like, "No, it's not in canon." So for one thing, I think the clones probably can, but for another thing, I reckon Boba definitely can because he hasn't been altered from his dad.
Django surely
On
could.
Imperial Senate podcast.
Yeah, maybe
Working
Django
with-
just couldn't find the right lady, you know?
Well,
Or maybe he's just got kids all over town. He's just gone, well, I can't go back. I've got too much baggage all over town. If I just get one, like, with no questions asked, without some, like, you know, baby mama hounding me all the time, I can just, like, deal with that one, and I'll just be a deadbeat dad to all these other kids.
I don't want Django to be a deadbeat dad. That's so depressing.
He's a deadbeat dad to all but one kid.
Because Django, he not only does he get to have Boba as like kind of like part of the payment, but he literally gets paid to do it. No one else has a kid and then gets paid for it.
Oh, do you think that like the comedian, it would be in Palpatine, or was it Sifo Dyas or whatever, is paying like child support for Boba as well? He's just like, hey, look, I want the kid, but you guys always got to pay for like school fees, like clothes, food, you know, other things.
Yeah,
I'm not getting out of pocket out of this.
I'll do whatever you want, but I want a clone unaltered. I can do that for you. Also, you have to pay for the food and stuff. Okay, that's fine.
If you could pick up the checks for some other kids as well, like no questions asked, like maybe 7 or 8 other childcare checks you need to pick up as well. Like I suppose
the sweet Camino. Okay, now you're taking the piss.
He actually had a pretty crappy apartment for a guy that they were relying so much on, really, weren't they? And he's got a kid. Like, there's nothing to do in that. I think maybe when you were on last time, Charlie, a while ago, we talked about how crap that apartment was for kids. Like, there's nothing to do. There's no Xbox. There's no, like, there's not even, like, a train set or anything.
You can press he's got Boba can press doors, close them, open them. It's great. Did you guys ever play the Django Fett Bounty Hunter game?
No. Is it the GameCube one?
That's where, I got it for PlayStation 2, but that's when I went from, like, because I loved Django Fett, obviously, because when I grew up, I was a big Boba Fett fan. And then when I saw Django in Attack of the Clones and Young Boba, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. But then when I played the game as a kid, it really struck a chord with me because the story is so good. And, like, there's a big emotional weight behind, like, the whole story. Like, so in the game Bounty Hunter, Boba works, like his boss basically, like helps him find contacts and stuff for bounties, is a Toydarian called Roz.
Roz.
And she's like this.
Roz, like from Monsters Inc.
Really cool.
She's like, Django, you haven't filed your bounty hunter reports.
Pretty much. And the whole thing is that he has this conflict with another bounty hunter called Montrose, who in the extended universe was, like they were both in the Mandalorian Civil Wars. On like different sides.
Oh yeah.
And this guy Montrose is basically a big dick. And after that happens, they both become.
He's a giant dick with arms and a gun. It's like, wow.
I mean, it's Star Wars.
They've been given the creative license to go a little bit off the reservation. Yeah.
And then in the game, you basically like, Roz is always constantly asking Django to like sort of get out of the game and to settle down because she doesn't want him to waste his life away. And he's like, yeah, wait, maybe one day. And the whole point of the bounty hunter game is that you're doing this mission for this mysterious guy who's put out a thing for all bounty hunters to get rid of this drug organization and Dark Jedi. And obviously at the end of the game, you find out it's Darth Tyrannus, who the reason why he did this bounty was because he wanted to test the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. Django succeeds, and so he offers him the deal about the cloning and stuff. But Montrose, who is a piece of shit, kills Roz, like sets the thing to explode, and he has to go off and save her, and it's too late, and she's like, look, just promise me you won't waste your life, don't be alone.
Aww.
And so at the end of the game, he's like, I have one condition. I want a boy for myself, unaltered. And it's like, oh, Saf, you gotta watch it. It's so good.
My god, I gotta watch
Gosh,
that.
the
Man, there's so many more feelings.
And he's introduced to Sam in the game, and there's like a camaraderie between them. Like she's like the bounty hunter trying to like get into the game, but she's like not perfect.
I love them.
And
yeah, I'm really hoping that like Boba and Fennec end up kind of being like Django and Zam.
Oh, me too.
That's my hope for them.
And I love his conflicted nature of because for me, the way they phrased the new shows coming in, like Ahsoka and everything, it feels like they're building up to a big event. And some people are saying they think it might be like Thrawn or like Heir to the Empire-esque. I think it's going to be like Siege of Mandalore 2.
Yeah, you don't have that many Mandalorians in it just to be like, oh, it's Thrawn.
So it's like
he has nothing to do with
Defenders like kind of team up, isn't it? So it's sort of like they did on Netflix. I don't know. I think the return might be they bring Grogu back. So I think we'll probably get a see. Like,
oh, I definitely think they're going to bring Grogu.
Oh yeah,
back.
Grogu's coming back. But
yeah, 100% Grogu's coming back.
Well, I don't know if he'll come back for season 3 though. Like, you think? Like,
I think he will.
Lucas like, oh, I'm 28, dude. I don't know anything about changing nappies. Like, all of a sudden, I've just taken this kid on. I don't have any resources.
Like, this kid keeps eating everything. He's trying to eat all my other students.
It's like I never had any younger brothers or sisters. I know nothing.
Space sausages, like with Yoda. Mine. Like, fuck this.
Just whacking R2 with a stick.
My favorite meme was someone did the Luke going, "Come here, little one," and he goes, "Come here, like found someone I think you have," and he's like, "Oh shit, not again."
It's another one. Oh no.
But I do think that the whole Mandalorian arc is interesting because I feel like they're going to build up and delve into the complex way of what Mandalorian is. Because the thing I love about that culture is that it's all tribalism, even within itself. There's debates about what is, what isn't. Bo-Katan is hypocritical because she like attacks the cultists, but at the same time she was
a terrorist.
Yeah, she was a terrorist, and also she's completely
a terrorist who wanted to like oust her own sister.
That yes, and
she's
also
the Eric Trump of
to him,
Star Wars. Okay, we
like I feel like because she is like cool and because like she was a bit more chill in Rebels, everyone has forgotten like that she's actually like not a great person. She's just quite cool. And people are like, wow, I can't believe she acted like that. I'm like, can't you? Did we watch the same shows?
The thing is, like, that's what's interesting, is that she makes fun of Mando for following this doctrine, and then she's following her own weird doctrine of this, like, really outdated form of you can only rule Mandalore if you beat someone to do it.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So,
like she shames Mando for like his religion as well. She's just like, is your Messiah coming to save you?
Yeah, and then he's like trying to like give her a thing. She's like, oh no, I can't do that. He's like, just literally take the sword from me, please. God, I do not want to rule a whole planet.
Like, let's just do like, you know, like you can just best me at freaking like 1, 2, 3, like rock paper scissors or something. Like, does it have to be heated battle? Like, can it be like
rock paper scissors?
Can it be like the scene in Bill and Ted where they're like playing Twister or, you know, all those kind of like different games and stuff? But
well, the thing there is like she very much seems like, oh, I have to kill you. Like she's got the vibe like I've got to kill you, but clearly she accepts that Mando taking out Gideon but not killing him works for him taking the Darksabers. Like, then you don't even have to kill him, you just have to kick his ass.
Yeah,
I feel like she's all or nothing, that lady.
Yeah,
I do feel like what the show is building up to an understanding that to bring Mandalore back together, you have to form all the tribes and acceptance. So,
I never thought that I would get so... I mean, like, I realized when we did our first like Podron, which is like Rogue Podron's thing about Mandalorian, and apparently over the years I've been squirreling away all of the knowledge I have about Mandalore and just like putting it in a little box. And so I thought I didn't have any feelings or thoughts on Mandalore, and then someone on that show asked me about like Mandalorian culture, and it all just came out, and I was like, oh no, I actually do love Mandalorians.
They're
Yet
great.
another thing I didn't expect.
You're
but now
going to
I'm
be
like
marching
super
with
excited.
those dudes at a celebration, in 2 years' time. You're going to be like in the like thing with your little helmet going woo woo woo, like oh my god, I've just
But that's the
180.
thing I love about.
Look, honestly,
love
I
what
would, but I
Jordan
am
Dave did.
terrible at making armor.
Just do it.
You're just there with like like a cereal box with the
compound.
arms cut out of it and a bucket on your head. Like, hey guys, I'm part of the Mandalorian thing. They're just like, you fucking Johnny come
Look,
lately over
this
there.
show has shown that anyone can be a Mandalorian
Yeah.
if they truly
Now
believe.
stop mocking my
That's the thing, like,
cardboard,
I feel
my
like-
cereal box armor and my bucket, please.
I feel like we're building up to that being a big deal, like, and them all coming together. Like, I'd love to see like this finale where, like, Din has got the Darksaber, like, leading the charge, and you got like Bo-Katan,
Maybe Sabine.
Sabine, Boba. All this.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I
like-
do love the idea that
Maybe like
Boba-
even if Viz can come along. Maybe the armor obviously is there.
Corky Kenobi.
Don't bring up Corky.
Who's Corky
Corky is a
Kenobi?
Kenobi, and
Corky is
have you not
Satine's
heard this, Josh?
niece.
Oh,
Nephew. But like, which sibling birthed this child?
Yeah, because we only know there's 2 kids so far, and one Corky happened to look a very much lot like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, it's Satine's.
I'm with you on
Is
this.
this one of those things that's like you think your sister's your mum's your sister, but your sister's really your mum and your mum's your grandma kind of thing, and they've had to cover for the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
little bit.
God! All right, yeah, I'll buy that. Corky Kenobi. We haven't even touched on Kenobi. Like, they're bringing him back. They're bringing back Hayden. Gonna go cray for
Yeah.
hey.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Can I just say, like, this year has been great for prequels fans.
I know they're feeding us for like the first time in our lives. We're getting fed. I do feel sorry because there's not much sequel trilogy content, so I do feel sorry for the new generation of Star
Oh,
Wars fans.
fuck them. Who gives a shit?
They'll
Anyway,
get theirs.
Well, I saw that there was a bit of like, there's nothing
20
for
years.
sequels. Like, well, yeah, prequel stuff lay dormant for 20 years as well, and and then to be fair, even like original trilogy stuff, it's like, yeah, we got stuff for I grew up on those. We got that for 20 years, and they erased half of it. So I think they're just, they're very conscious of going like, now that we've reached that end point of time. With, in the sequel trilogy, which is the Christmas holiday special now, is the actual furthest point in time that we are, the Lego Christmas special, whether it's canon or not. It's like, well, we can't tell
It is.
we can't tell any stories now because then we jeopardize the timeline of everything else that's going on. So we have to like put this full stop on it and dance around the time zones. So yeah, look, they'll get to it. just be patient. We might have a Daisy Ridley on an island in 25 years, just with a new apprentice coming looking for them. I don't know. Like, would you want episode 10, or do you want to start back at 1 when they finally go there?
I'm truly on. Like, I've been reading the High Republic books. #brag.
Oh, right. I know nothing about the High Republic books. I heard that you guys got a little
Wait.
sneak.
Wait. Oh, right. You got a sneak peek? I was like, did those even come out? I forgot they were.
Yeah, they come out in
happening.
January, but I've been reading the first. We've got the first 3 books.
Wow,
review.
rude. Why aren't they giving Rogue Podron these books?
I was like, why don't they give a meeting? I'm like, oh yeah, I know why.
Yeah. No, I know why Rogue Podron has it.
I know we have. But one, I don't read the books, and 2, we're small potatoes over here. We're not big time.
I mean,
we're
we're
not big
small,
time
but-
gangsters like you guys over there at Imperial Senate.
Nah,
Yeah,
we're small. We reached out, and thankfully they came in clutch. And I've been
Oh,
reading.
you took the initiative. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, wow, you bloody apple polisher.
I'm never going to do that.
Yeah. So give us
I've been
I know
reading
you probably
first
can't
book.
say too much, but like, what's the general vibe? Is it cool? Does it feel like Star Wars? Has it got some interesting stuff?
It's really good. I was really apprehensive at first. Like, I wasn't. It wasn't like I was against it, but I just wasn't really. I really love the Skywalker saga, so it's nice to delve into other stories. But I'm reading the first book, which is Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi,
Ooh.
and it is so good.
So does it feel
I'm like
like
halfway through.
are you kind of like this could be? I'm like, I don't know whether they'd ever adapt the books, but you're just kind of like, this is ripe for movies and stuff. Like, you're kind of like, yes, it could be those things.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely a really interesting way of looking at the Jedi. Like, I was reading it and going, wow, this is what the Jedi could be. Like, this is pretty cool.
They all kind of hippies.
Not really hippies. It's like the way they work with the Republic is really cool. I probably should be careful what I say.
Okay, sorry. I don't want to get you. You're like, if we finally got in, I can't have it stripped away.
I'm pretty sure the review embargo's up, but
No.
yeah, I think it's really cool. Basically,
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
it gives me more hope. But also saying that, I'd rather watch episode 10. People go, I don't really want to focus on the Skywalker saga anymore. And I'm like, that's cool, but what if we did?
Well, is it still the? I mean, if Rey rolls on, like it still technically is the Skywalker saga. It's just a new Skywalker.
But people won't accept that.
Well, too bad for them. They'll turn up. They'll turn up. What are they going to do? What else are you going to do? You're not going to go? Come on.
Yes, one, if they say they won't go to the film, they're lying. Two, I still find it very strange. Like the whole, like I get people being angry that we haven't got about sequel trilogy stuff, but also the film came out last year.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago.
No, not at
like
all.
2 hours of new content.
And like I said, it's they got to hold their powder on that, and you got to get everybody excited, like all the actors and everybody else on board if you want to do something. So figure out who's coming back and who's not coming back, and do you do movies and do you do TV, and just a lot of story implications to jump forward like that. And they're clearly mining this this time period, but it is actually like a lot of those new shows that we've got are mining a period that we don't know much about, like this in between Jedi and Force Awakens time now. So it's not, I mean, it's close to the original trilogy, but it's not the same stuff they've always mined. It is actually something slightly new in new situations, and yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like, we don't know anything. There's 30 years of content there.
Yeah, that's the biggest gap I think we've had that hasn't really been explored. And also, I think the idea is that with the sequel trilogy, we have an opportunity to, like, I feel like what the Mandalorian is very good at is that we've got an opportunity to Clone Warsify the gap between 6 and 7, and sort of build upon the sequel trilogy, so that, like any text in Star Wars, once you go back and watch the sequel trilogy, your experience will be enriched because now you have loads of more information about certain aspects. And I know people go, well, that's not how The Force Awakens was made. Like, that's not what... It's like, of course not. But when you watch the prequels now, if you watch the Clone Wars, your view of it will be different because you have additional context and information.
Yeah. Like, the Clone Wars, after watching the Clone Wars, I get very more invested in watching the prequels movies when I see them.
It's like, it can only enrich your experience. And that's what happens with any... Like, people go... I see a lot of people on film Twitter be like, well, that's not how it works. When it comes out, that's how it is. It's like, that's not how any story works. Like, if you went back to the original version of King Arthur, it'd be boring. Most of the stuff that we associate with King Arthur isn't in the original text. That, quite frankly, some Celtic person must have told someone once.
Or like Robin Hood. It's like, hey, Robin Hood was most interesting when he was a sexy fox, okay? And that's still that's still the best version of Robin Hood going around, if you ask me. And the Russell Crowe one. Okay, maybe not the Russell Crowe one, but, whatever.
Had to put that in there, didn't you?
I actually don't. Well, I caught... this is completely off theme. I caught some of that on TV the other day that was just being on. And I was like, oh, bloody hell, Oscar Isaac's in this. Like, and,
he is the sheriff of Nottingham, isn't he? Or
no,
is he
he's like the
Gisborne?
He's the prince. He's like the Prince John.
Oh, Prince John.
Yeah. And I was kind of totally forgotten. I'm like, bloody hell, Oscar Isaac's in Robin Hood. Okay, all right, well.
I know this is out of context, but did you see that picture of him in a scarf?
Yes, I did.
Yes, oh my god.
I kept thinking of, I don't know if you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's like a little joke where they cut to Jake when he's younger, and he's just like, and I will never stop believing in Scar. And he's like doing this Scar dance and thing. I'm like, oh my god, it's got to be footage. What does he play? Is he the singer? He has to be the singer, surely.
I don't know. He's a wacky. He's a crazy dude. I'm really trying hard to get a T-shirt sent to him, but I don't know where to start. I want to send him one of our T-shirts that's called Space Sluts. It's a picture of Oscar Isaac.
maybe you could find out his old Scar bandmates or something and like get through. Do you ever remember? You guys are probably too young for this. Like in the early sort of 2000s when like rock and roll came back and like the Strokes hit really big. And it was like rock and roll's back, and like the White Stripes came out, and like rock and roll's back. And there was
I love
this
how you
band.
said that with like, do you remember?
Do you remember the early 2000s? It was 20 years ago.
The White Stripes.
Yeah,
and the
no.
rock and
All
roll
right.
coming back.
But there was a
I remember
band.
that.
There was a band called The Bravery, and they had
Yes, I
like
remember
one
that.
song that came out, and they were lumped in with this like rock and roll's back. And then it turned out that the NME did like an expose on them, and that they had used to be a ska band called Scarba the Hut.
Cover the Hut. Oh my god, I love that.
And I was just like,
One of
wouldn't it have
my
been
great
amazing if
regrets.
that was Oscar Isaac's ska band was called Scarba the Hut?
Oh my god.
That would be so good.
That'd be Diego Luna's band.
Yeah, that would be Diego Luna's band.
One of my greatest regrets was not being able to go to the 501st Bash at 2016 because they had Ash playing. Band Ash.
Who played the Phantom
Who
Menace rap party?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
I love the band Ash, and they notoriously, obviously, they did a cover of the Cantina Band, which is great. But also they did the music or like the main theme for Republic Commando.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I knew that 1977 was named after the year Star Wars came out.
Yeah, the first album was
Which has
named
got the
after,
greatest
yeah,
hidden
Star
track
Wars.
of all time on it, that record. You must have
one?
heard that. The one where it's just like them getting drunk and throwing up on the floor. Have you heard that? Go back today. Everybody listening, go up your I'm assuming it's on Spotify. I've got it on CD somewhere. But go back and get to the end of the last song and then skip ahead. It's, it's old CD technology, 10 minutes of silence. And then there's like 7 minutes of them like drunk talking into a microphone thing and then like being sick on the floor and stuff. It's disgusting, but it's hilarious.
Oh
They're
my
all just
God.
a bunch of like 18-year-olds like falling over laughing, and I'm just like, oh my god, these guys are living their best lives.
They really are.
Oh, good on them.
Where were we? We've just completely tangent. Oh, Luke Skywalker came back. Yeah. So did you? How long did it take you
Yeah,
guys
that
to
was good.
click?
That was-
How long did it take to click? Was it a moment that X-wing sort of flew by? Like as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, Filoni's back to save the day again.
Yeah, I had a moment of like, oh my god, I can't believe they wrote Filoni in. But then the friend I was watching it with was like, oh my god, it's the Jedi. And I was like, oh my god, it's the Jedi. Oh my god, it's Luke. And she was like, maybe it's not Luke. Maybe it's this one or this one. Because she was really excited about being Ezra potentially. And I was like, no, the X-Wing's there. It means it's Luke. But even though I knew that, like, still because he kept the hood on and everything, I was like, is it Luke? Are they trying to fake us out? And then I saw the lightsaber and I was like, oh no, that's Luke. That's Luke.
But even so,
Yeah,
like,
the thing that
oh, you go, Matt.
the thing that really got to me was like, there's a meme out there someone did with like Joey from Friends. They go, and he goes, "There's one X-wing." Oh, there's one X-wing.
Oh my
When
god.
when they said, "There's one X-wing," I was like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It can't be! It can't be! It has to!" Like as soon as they said that, I was like, "There's no other way. It's anyone else. It's Luke." But I was like, "But they can't have done that. Like it's just your brain is like they can't have put Luke Skywalker in a TV
Yeah.
show. That's ridiculous."
But it makes
And then
story-wise, it
the
makes
cloak,
perfect sense. Like it makes perfect sense
Of course it
story-wise.
does.
But it was always the practical side of like, well, how do you get it to work? Hamill's publicly said he's done with Luke Skywalker, so is it going to be someone else? Like, it was always the logistical problems around the real-world problems around bringing Luke Skywalker, as opposed to, when the first episode. I have to go back and listen. When the first episode came out, we did a live recording. And we did a viewing in Melbourne, and me and the Blue Bantha Milk guys, and Catherine was there, and Andy Campbell, and a couple other people, and went after that Baby Yoda reveal. And I said, like, now that we've got a Force-sensitive character, this opens up like we could see Luke Skywalker one day. Like, straight away, my brain went time period, Force users, Baby Yoda equals Luke Skywalker. I was on there like, money equals something equals profit. Whatever, underpants versus step 1, collect underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit. It always made sense, but it was just like the practical side of it. And even like you said, Saf, like the hood was down the whole time, going like, oh, they're just going to do back of the head. They're not going to show it. Surely not.
with me as well, it's like I said this on internet. Like you mentioned, Luke and Ahsoka are the two characters that makes the most sense to appear because
Yeah, Ahsoka made sense, and then when I watched the episode, and I was like, that could have literally been anyone else.
it could have been. But I was like, if I went back in time and I said Ahsoka and Luke are going to be on the show, I'd be like, don't be silly.
I mean,
it makes sense
if you
for them.
gone back in time and said Ahsoka's your least favorite episode and Boba Fett's your favorite character, now I would have been like, like next to
No
that,
way,
I
man.
wouldn't believe
Ahsoka
that
forever.
Skywalker was in the show.
Oh my god.
I think, like, if I thought about it more, like, I would have probably figured out it would have been Luke. Because, like, after Luke, I was like, obviously, because that is literally the only character in this universe that we would trust. Like, that we would be like, okay, he can give this baby to this character. Anyone else, we would have been like, no, absolutely not. Who are you to take this baby? Like, we still don't like it when Luke takes him, but Luke of all people we trust.
Which is weird, because, again, no child rearing skills whatsoever.
And we do know where his academy ends up, so, you know.
Yeah, look,
Okay.
I find that kind of like, oh, well, does it mean that Baby Yoda burns it? I'm like, that is a massive assumption of like
Baby Yoda
25
is definitely
years
coming back
later.
to his dad.
Yeah, he'll go somewhere else. He'll get
People
set
always
up into
say about
space.
Ben, but everyone forgets that he also helped train Leia.
Yeah.
That's a good 50-50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And like maybe he talks about like maybe he had some graduates from that academy the first couple of years. Who knows? Who knows where they ended up? I don't know. Like that might not have been his first crack at it. I mean, technically, he's technically just opened his academy. Like whether he likes it or not, like he's in Jedi Academy training school now at 28.
Yeah.
And then he's got what 22 years or something of of doing it potentially until it all goes bad. Or whatever it is. Was it 5
We
years
don't know what
before?
Baby Yoda said. We don't know what Grogu said. He might have just said that I need help to
Reach that top
be
shelf.
able to control myself and look after myself.
Yeah, like
because-
maybe he gives baby Yoda like enough to like to be safe, basically, and then he goes back to his dad where he belongs.
I think Grogu's
We've had enough of Jedi taking their children away from parents.
Yeah. He got
Grogu's
taken
like-
again. Again, this is the third time,
like,
fourth
there's like
time
a
I've been
therapy
taken away.
session.
Yeah,
It's like a
they
therapy
can't be
session
good
where
with this baby.
they're both cross-legged, and Luke's like, "Okay, Grogu, what happened? Like, why are you upset?" And he's like, "Why did you force like yourself in hiding?" And Grogu's like, "Look, I'll be honest. Like, there's this dude at this temple. He like slaughtered all my friends. I saw them all get murdered horribly. The kids were like crying. The kids were ripped apart." And Luke's like, okay, this is pretty dark stuff. Like, what did he look like? He's like, oh, he had like longish hair and a scar on his eye.
Handsome.
Like, Luke's looking in the corridor, in the corner, and they're like, Anakin as a ghost, like, don't.
Just like doing the no. Stop asking about this, please.
I'm gonna get out of it.
Do you think Luke's got like? Because I mean, we don't know where he takes over the Jedi. I mean, does he say in the books he takes over the Jedi Temple again? Like, I know the Emperor kind of takes it over.
I don't think that's in the books.
But
I don't think
like,
that's in canon.
but you know,
I
like
was making some art.
At least up to this point, the Empire still holds Coruscant.
yeah. I was just like thinking, like in Revenge of the Sith, how they kind of like Obi-Wan turns up and they're looking at like the security footage and like Anakin's there sort of like, tearing through everybody. Whether Luke could get hold of those videos. And I was just thinking of this the other day. Does Luke...
You could just ask Anakin.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Put dialogue to his dad.
Does he get in those security tapes? And does he say Darth Vader? Does he get called Darth... Like, does Obi-Wan hear the name Darth Vader on there? Because there's a
He
bit where
knows
he's like,
Darth
good
Vader.
work. Because he's got like, doesn't he go like, good work, Darth Vader, now go to the Mustafar system and
Vader.
kill everybody. Yeah. So, suffice to say that if they do this Obi-Wan show and Obi-Wan hears that there's a Darth Vader kicking around the galaxy, he's going to put two and two together pretty quickly.
Yeah, he knows he's Darth Vader. That's why Yoda's like, contributors. Darth Vader. So yeah, like that was never the issue. I guess for me, it's like I always just imagine that Anakin didn't see him until A New Hope.
Yeah.
If they do it well.
No, like I don't reckon that Vader and Obi-Wan are gonna meet because that doesn't make any sense. I reckon he's just gonna be like haunted by like Anakin, or I want this as like good tragedy stuff, like being haunted by Anakin, or like flashbacks of them as well. Like,
There's rumors that we'll see Clone Wars content with Hayden.
ooh, I'm okay with
Ahsoka.
that.
And Hayden
Oh.
Ahsoka.
Keep Ahsoka out of there.
I mean, but not. It doesn't have to be that Ahsoka. It could be an actress that
Well, it'd have to be younger,
Be a
wouldn't
good
it?
Ahsoka.
I don't know.
Could be a good Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already said that he goes off planet. Like, I kind of theorized that he basically, like, the Empire finally gets to to Tatooine, sort of 10 years in, and he starts hearing about Darth Vader and goes, "Oh crap, he's alive! I better go deal with this problem head on before he finds where I am."
Based on what I've seen, I think that we will see Kenobi go off planet. I'll say that.
He just sort of dusts off the, behind the shack out the back. He's got a big spaceship or something out the back. That he's just been... Although that wouldn't make any sense.
He's really good at hiding in cupboards. Remember?
Oh,
Padme ship.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that you actually see him sneak on the ship in episode 3?
He does the old.
It's like an exterior shot of Padme's ship, and if you look carefully, you see Ewan McGregor like sneak onto the back of the ship.
Yeah, and they just hide in the cupboard.
I extremely can't tell if you're joking or not at this point.
No, he does. No, he does.
Okay.
And then he sort of closes the door and then just goes, "Oh, should have brought a book." Like, I'm gonna have to sit here and hope we've got enough charge at my phone. Blew that.
Yoda's not answering. There's no Jedi though. They're all busy. Oh, wait a second. Oh.
Better do some push-ups or something. This is probably going to go badly. I'm going to, G myself up. You never really see like the Jedi kind of like warm up. They kind of like do a couple of lightsaber twirls, and it's not sort of like they have to get super prepared to sort of kick some butt or anything. It's a bit sort of like
they're always warmed up.
They're always warmed up. They're just like a coiled spring, ready to pounce.
Yeah, they're always ready to go.
Okay, guys. So we come around the corner here. We're about to wrap this bad boy up. What about all this new content? What's got your eye on this new content? We've touched a little bit on Obi-Wan. We haven't. I think you might have even touched on Lando there for a sec, Saf.
I was touching on the comics, not this Lando.
Oh, yep. Sorry, not this Lando.
No, there might be 60 cat people in it.
There might be the 6 cat people in it.
Oh, could be. So what's got your excitement levels up for the next 10 years of content or whatever it's going to be?
Oh man, I honestly don't remember half the stuff that got announced because it was a lot, and it was also the same day as the Game Awards for me, so there was a lot of game stuff announced then as well. But obviously the thing I am most excited for is Taika Waititi's film. Because I love his directing so much, and him finally getting a Star Wars film is like the best. It's going to be such a good movie. It's going to be my favorite Star Wars movie. I can say that already.
Well, it's not
even though
going to
it's
be
like 4 years out.
What we talked about last time, Saf, where it was Boba Fett movie with 30-year-old Daniel Logan playing 10-year-old Boba Fett in little shorts. Like, it's probably not going to be that now.
Unfortunately, we're not getting that. Who knows what it'll be, but whatever it is, I'm excited. Also very excited about the Book of Boba Fett, obviously. And then, yeah, I'm really excited for Kenobi, especially now that Hayden's going to be in it, because I love Hayden so much. Obi-Wan's like been one of my favorite characters since I was a kid. Like, Obi-Wan was the reason I got really into Star Wars, so he's always got a special place in my heart. So those 3 things.
Hayden's looking pretty skinny, actually. I saw a photo of him recently. He's going to have to sort of, I don't know, he's sort of got a thinner face than he used to. He's going to have to sort of, if you're going to do some flashback work.
Less burn as well.
Yeah, he's definitely less, but he's got some of the sort of, palm olive oil of Ulan or something on his face and managed to clear those scars up nice and good. What about you, Charlie? What's jumping out at you at sort of like, the things you... I mean, it all looks pretty good, but like what's got you excited?
Well, I love the OT, obviously, but I never really... I mean, it's always part of me because obviously it's Star Wars, but I think this year has proved how much of obviously a prequel kid I am. Mm-hmm. Because the things that really excite me are Kenobi, because we're getting Hayden back, our boy, our Baden Christensen, and the Bad Batch really excites me.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about the Bad Batch too. I love clones.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know why we're going to care for like more Clone Wars. I'm like, well, we get to see the aftermath of all the 66 from the clones' perspective.
Yeah, yes. I think that's really good.
Yes.
Like, do they just get shipped off to the, they get shipped off to the meat processor or something, or are they all like, what happens to them? Like, do they all kind of snap out of it?
I'm so excited.
Or do they?
And
there's something I've always wanted.
What I like about the animated shows and like the Filoni stuff is that we get retrospective information. So not only do we get a follow-up to episode 3, but also we get like a prequel of sorts of elements that are introduced.
Also, Fennec is going to be there. Also,
yeah, I'm about to say. That's why.
I know they're going to use D. Bradley Baker, but I hope to God they use Tim instead, because he's back now. You've got to use his voice, please.
I mean,
please stop using D. Bradley Baker's accent. Save us from this hell.
Yeah, I think that I'm sort of like I like Clone Wars, and I was kind of like, oh, Bad Batch will be interesting, but like the story, the intrigue about what happens afterwards, all these clones sort of like get all upset that they've been used as pawns, and they're like, all right, well, you guys, we're gonna have to get rid of you guys now. We can't have you, standing around. We're gonna have to.
Well, they haven't showed it, but I would imagine that, in my opinion, what it might start off with is, I reckon Captain Rex will be in it, and what will happen is that he will get the chips out of the Bad Batch's heads and ask them to help him try and rescue as many clones as he can, and that's where we'll see like Wolf and stuff get rescued. But apparently, the thing I'm interested in the most as well is that this elite group of clone troopers apparently has been picked by Darth Vader in the Bad Batch, which is the new trooper designs where they look kind of like the prelude to Death Troopers, where they got green visors and black clone armor. The rumor is that the leader of that group, who we see in the trailer, is actually a re-armored Commander Cody, and he's the main guy.
No! Oh no! Oh no!
I want conflict. It's going to be conflict between Rex and Cody, which I love.
That would be so beautiful. Oh my god, I want that so bad.
Wow.
I just can't wait. And also, we see something I thought was really interesting, really clever as well, is that you mentioned obviously Fennec, which I really love. I love Ming-Na Wen so much, and like when I went back in like last year, like my biggest criticism about The Mandalorian was that episode 5, which was awful. And when they shot Fennec, I was like, I'm so mad. If I could go back and go, not only does she come back, she's badass. She's in more episodes than you can expect. She's best friends with Boba Fett, and she's going to lead her own show, and she's going to be in the Clone Wars style.
Oh yeah, I would like to say I knew from the end of that episode, like when that episode happened, I was like, she's gonna come back, and so I wasn't sad or upset at all because I knew she was gonna be back. And the moment she came back, I was like, "Woo! I was right."
You can't get Ming-Na Wen and not, get one and done her.
Like, there's no reason to have that that little bit where like he picks her up if she's not gonna come back. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Stole a wallet.
You don't have to take her whole body and steal her wallet, Charlie.
Steal her wallet. They could get together. They could be like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of, thing going on, maybe. Just like two, age appropriate girlfriend and boyfriend. Those two, like.
In my brain, they are platonic soulmates.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't want to admit to ship them. All right. Well, I don't want to.
You're not allowed to ship them. I am open to all ships, but I like the idea of them being like.
For me, because
I like the idea of like a show with two characters, like a badass dude and a badass lady, and they don't end up together would be very cool. We don't see that very often.
We need more ace representation in Star Wars.
I mean, we've seen more representation of friendships.
Yeah, that too.
We're going to try and Jim and Pam them then. All right.
No, you're allowed to ship them, like I said.
I kind of wanted them to make out on that throne.
What if? No, I'm not gonna go.
I wouldn't be doing anything on that throne until I got a
I'm gonna
keep
keep my stupid ships out of here. I'm sorry.
But the thing I thought was really interesting, just to wrap up, that they mentioned in this episode that the Dark Troopers were Phase 3, like the Legends.
Oh yeah.
So in the trailer for the Bad Batch, we see like these sort of proto Dark Troopers. My theory is that they're Phase 1, and that they're also like Batch 99. They're clones that weren't formed properly. And that rather than just being abandoned, they've been manipulated and used to be this like war machines.
Oof, it's dark.
And that will make more conflict for Batch 99 because they're like, we could be like that. Like that's how they treat us.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
That's my kind of thing.
And then they all start dating, and then we start shipping all those Bad Batch all together. Like I want the one with the glasses to hook up with the other one.
Don't get me started, man. I will. Write that.
That clone gay bar in the Clone Wars. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Clone Club 99. They definitely bang.
It's like we could.
War's heavy, man.
We could breed if we want to, but who would want to do that when you can just make out with a guy who's just as sexy as you?
You fuck yourself.
Wow. Well, we got there.
That's where we got.
Yeah, we got there. Thank you so much, guys. I know it's like tricky coming into Christmas time to wrangle people together and do stuff, but I'm really glad you guys are the sort of the last guests of the year as we sign off this difficult year. But we got some good stuff as well. So, Charlie, plug your wares.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at CMWASHBY. where I talk about gibberish. You can follow me on Instagram, CharlieMW Ashby, and then you can follow the Imperial Senate podcast. Go to imperialsenatepodcast.com. You can find all the links to like Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and all that jazz. We just done the final episode of Free Blood and a Bounty, which was awesome. We had Clarice Lockery from the Independent / BBC Radio 5 to talk about the final episode, and it was a lot of fun.
Excellent. Hey, Saf, what do you got for us?
So I am Saf. I'm doing great.
Great. Thank God we established this at the end and not at the start. You're just like, well, I'm not, but I'll just keep talking. Saf's in the other room, but whatever. I just found the microphone lying around here. No one noticed. And there's a video call as well, and no one noticed.
No one noticed. My Twitter is at Wanderlusting, which is WANDERLUSTIN. I am on the show Rogue Podron, which you can find on any of your favorite podcatchers. We are a sibling show to Imperial Senate because we're on the same network. And I have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/Wanderlustin, which I am ramping up yourself again, and I will be putting writing on there, whether or not. Sometimes free, sometimes not. But I do plan on writing more about Star Wars in the future.
Excellent. Great. Awesome. You guys will be keeping very busy then. Thanks everybody for listening this year. I know it's been a little bit sporadic. Things have been going on. You may or not have noticed. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll just put them out when we can, especially when there's not as much content as there was. It's a lot easier to put stuff out when there's stuff to talk about. And it's only podcasting. Who cares? We'll do what we want. So go to StarWarsSpeltOut.com if you want to look at any of our silly t-shirts. I do a Peppa Pig podcast as well, which is the only Peppa Pig podcast around, so it's easy enough to find with my buddy Matt Frost. And thank you. We'll see you next year. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
See you soon.
Or Happy Holidays.
Whatever works. Crazy
No,
Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas. I don't want to. Anyone who doesn't follow the Christian traditions can get out of it.
He's the Eric Trump of this podcast.
Oh my god.
Thanks, guys.